Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. It looks like the mic is live. Everything is looking good. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by. As always, my name is Elijah Schmitz. Wow, why did I say my last name? my name is Eli. Oh, wow, that felt kind of weird saying. My name is Eli with Pokémon USA. If you don't know who I am, I talk about what's going on in the Pokemon market Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I don't have time to answer all of the questions in the comment section down below. So Tuesday and Thursday is the day for me to do so. So today is the day for any of you guys that are interested, that want to, of course, know anything about anything going on, and you have just super specific questions. I am here to answer that. But let's get things going. TT, do you think Lost Origin ETBs are a good pickup for $32 long term? Yeah, I don't think it's a bad pickup by any means at that price. I think, I think you can get it below sub 30. That's great, but I mean, $32 is a great price in my opinion. Suarez TCG. Hey Eli, do you think we'll see at least a preview of the Lugia Altar from ST? Oh, sorry about that. At least a preview. It's either gonna go one of two ways. Either we're gonna get a complete leakage of the card art design, or it's just gonna come out with the rest of the set. That's just kind of what I assume. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a preview. Good afternoon from Florida. Earliest I've been here. Oh dang, dude, you're in Florida right now? Yeah, my parents are in Orlando at this moment, and they're literally just chilling in a hotel without any power or cell service, so that's fun. Man's just doxing himself. Yeah, seriously. What's up, John? How we doing? Thank you for stopping by as always. Hopefully you watched yesterday's video and appreciate I appreciate the content you bring to the channel. Also, I decided to bring a water bottle this time around so that whenever I'm like, oh my gosh, I've talked for like an hour and a half straight without taking a breath, I'll be able to have something where I can chill. But yeah, excited to get into things today. Obviously I meant to say when. Oh, when do you think? Oh, okay, you're good. So when, as far as the preview goes, it'll be the week of the 21st. So the 21st is when the Japanese set comes out. And so sometime during the week. Usually it'd be on the Monday of, but they've, for some reason, stopped doing it like that. And so it's more than likely going to be sometime on a, a Wednesday of. So what, 2 days before? Thursday, Wednesday. So like the 19th, I would guess. Hopefully parents are safe. I'm more West Jacks area, so I should be fine. Well, so with the chart that my mom sent me, she basically was saying as you go more inland, it starts to die off. And they're like right next to it, but it's currently like at a point where the direction, or sorry, how do I want to say this? Where they're located, it's about a 1, but they're not directly near the 1, or they're not directly in the 1, they're just near the 1, and they're getting the crossfire of it. So today, last night, they were dealing with like 33-mile-an-hour winds, and then as of this morning, I think it should have pushed closer to them. So they're probably dealing with like about a 1 right now. So thankfully it's not too intense for where they are. Now I'm doxing myself. Whoops. Just pre-ordered Silver Tempest case of booster box. I blame you. Well, congratulations, Jerry. Welcome on board. John Doe, appreciate the content. Are you starting to get some large allocation of product leaving into the holiday season? No, actually, I'm not. I mean, I haven't gotten anything about anything. Product has been running extremely dry for the past, I don't know, 6 months. It's been bad. Product's been like other than a new set release or a new product release, there's been nothing. It sucks. So that's why I'm like, yeah, there's going to be some large reprints around the corner. We're just waiting for it. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, of course. No problem. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, we're going to go to Poke Beach. I haven't checked and seen if there's anything new to discuss, but it's always a good place to check out new things. More revealed about Wiglet, the garden eel Pokemon. Oh, that's interesting. And then Pokemon announces mainland China new Prince language cards. Interesting. Don't know how much I hear about that. But Wiglet, wow, that is... that is an interesting looking Pokemon design. Don't know how I feel about that. Don't know how I feel about that. How long do I have to pre-order Silver Tempest at low price until a leak? I mean, John Boy, here's the deal. Leaks are probably going to start happening. I mean, we can't predict leaks, right? We can predict when Japanese cards are going to be revealed, which is going to be in about, 2 weeks from now. 2.5 weeks from now, but we can't predict when leaks are going to happen. So if leaks were to happen, it would probably be within the next week to, week and a half. That's when you would predict leaks to happen. And in terms of that, even without a leak, I think the prices that you're buying right now, let's say you buy a case on Game Nerds, $25 a pop. That's a price that, for myself, I'm like, yo, this is way too low of a price. Like, the fact that people aren't getting in on this, like, scares me that the price is going to start to shoot up. So, for me, it has more to do with that. What's up, Nate50? How you doing, brother? I'm doing pretty chill myself. The Prince of the China sound pretty interesting. I mean, yeah, it'll be just... I mean, let's take a look and see what they mean by that. The Pokemon TCG will be coming to mainland China. Huh, interesting. I mean, yeah, interesting is what I would call it. It's not something that obviously I'm like, oh, this is crazy, big news. Like, it's like, well, it's whatever. I guess good for China. I was going to ask if you saw the PokeBeach article about how Magic is starting to use some Galaxy Holo patterns. Is Pokemon? Where is that? Magic to release cards with Pokemon holofoil? Well, ain't that interesting? Oh, I see what you're saying. Wow, those are actually sick card designs. Huh. That's really cool. I mean, you gotta adapt, man. Magic's getting crushed right now. Magic is obviously been getting destroyed by Pokemon, and then with the new Disney TCG obviously saying that they want to crush Magic, that they gotta get their crap together. A Rutro Raggy. Oh, that reminds me. I need to do something real quick. I have no clue, John Boy, why you are not a mod in the chat here. You're I need to make adjustments for that. Especially considering right now the bot helped remind me. Why am I not? Oh, that's why. Here, start typing, John. I want to see if I gave you status. It's about time. I can't believe I did that. You're literally a moderator within the Discord. I don't know why you wouldn't be a mod here. So hopefully it should have worked now. Either that or I gave someone with the exact same name as you moderator status. With the first preview of Scarlet Violet card, how do you feel about, or how do you think alt arts will carry over? Good question. And I couldn't tell you honestly. It's hard to say because You do not have a wrench now, John Boy, so I somehow gave it to the wrong John Boy. I have no clue how. You know, for me, it's one of those things where obviously right now, when you go back and look at like EX design cards, we've never had an EX full art card, so it's hard to know how that's necessarily going to translate because it'll be something that we've never seen before. So I have no clue, man. I legit have absolutely no clue. And hopefully we're still going to see art designs, but I couldn't tell you, man. I honestly couldn't tell you on what that's going to look like because we don't know what the reveals are and if that's the direction they're going to go, but if they don't, they'd be dumb considering how much it's brought into the channel. John, is your full thing Johnny Boy lowercase? What's your like icon image? Because I'm trying to find out which one it is. Because I see one that's Johnny Boy with the, like an orange, and then I see Johnny Boy dash topic. I don't know if either one is you because the orange one's the one I just tried doing and it didn't obviously event to anything. What got out of the sock under my bed? Rip. That stuff. Have you ever thought about expanding into different TCGs? In what regard, Kelvin? Oh my god, itchy nose. In what regard? You have a Celebi in yours? Oh gosh, why are you not showing up on YouTube, man? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're not popping up for some reason. Apparently there's an absolute freaking ton of Johnny Boys. That's why. Well, we'll try and fix that at some point later. Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those things where I guess when you say expanding into other TCGs, are you talking about selling it? Okay, carrying, collecting for different TCGs. Well, so with the opening of LGS, we actually just signed the lease agreement yesterday. So we're in the process of getting things rolling with that. So more than likely, it'll go either one of two ways. Either one, I'll start carrying some other TCG product on the site, just, miscellaneous product. If people care about it, then they can buy it. Or it'll be one of those things where I'll just refer to the LGS, Because for me personally, it's like I am very much wanting to push forward as a Pokemon-centric channel. And like, sure, we can have conversations from an investment perspective about opportunities for other TCGs, but in terms of like what I am really passionate about and I want to like be a wealth of information for, it's going to be Pokemon related product. And that's kind of what I really want to focus in. I don't want to be that Rudy of, hey, I know a ton about Magic, but then I talk about other things, but I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. Because that's like, if we're being honest, like I love Rudy, don't get me wrong, but a lot of what he speaks on behalf of with a lot of just other sets, he just is like, hey, I invest in this because I diversify. It's done well before. I'm going to do well again because I think this is too cheap of a price for me not to get in. And then he gets in. And he does well for himself, but he's not actively involved in the Pokemon community to where he can speak on behalf of a lot of things. Obviously, he has market experience, so he can speak on behalf of that because he's a veteran. But with that, of course, being said, that doesn't... Whoa, that was bizarre. Whoa, that was weird. Yeah, the stream just disconnected and reconnected. That was weird. Well, we're back now. It says we're back now. If you only bought one Pokemon Go product, what would you get? Oh god, if I only bought one Pokemon Go product, geez, I guess the EV playmat. I mean, it's too hard not to want to go with that. I mean, the EV playmat's just so good. What have we won? Millionaires in chat? If only, man. I'd love to be a millionaire in the chat. Pokemon Center ETB is what Jerry says. Hey, that's definitely not a bad one to say. All good. Personally, the biggest change I'm excited for, a new full art template. Sword and Shield has felt kind of meh compared to other eras. I mean, here's the thing I would say to that, CJ, CH, is when it comes to the era of the Sword and Shield, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a mess set, but I would definitely say it's like slightly middle of the road. But they've done a lot of innovative things I think are important. Because the first half of the Sword and Shield era was terrible. Like, let's be honest here. Like, in the grand scheme of things, when you talk about, you know, Sword and Shield base and then Rebel Clash, which coming off of your last two sets being literally Hidden Fates and Cosmic Eclipse, how do you, like, immediately just throw crap at it with that? Like, the translation of that was terrible. And then obviously Darkness Ablaze sucked. You know, Vivid Voltage was good. Champion's Path was terrible. Shining Fates was underwhelming. Like, they really, like, sucked. And then, you know, first introduction of alternate arts. Sure, we got the Tyranitar and the Empoleon, but the really cool designs we didn't really get. So, you know, it was a really bad first half of the Sword and Shield era. It wasn't really until, I would say, you know, maybe we could say Chilling Reign, but I would say Evolving Skies when you start to see people really get hyped about the Sword and Shield era. And you start to see some good sets near the second half of it. But yeah, there's definitely been an underwhelmingness to the era, which who knows, the Lugia set, Silver Tempest, could be really good. And then our English version of whatever V-Star Universe is going to be could be incredible. Everyone says down, 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 but we're back. Yeah, I saw it say reconnect, so I figured that we'd be coming back, and when it reconnected, I started talking again. How you doing, Eli? You see Eevee Heroes getting another reprint? I don't think so, if I were to guess. I mean, it's hard for me to really speak on the behalf of that, because obviously I'm not an expert when it comes to Japanese prints, because I don't work with Japanese distributors. But what I can tell you guys for certain is that historically speaking, the Japanese side of things has been very limiting on their overall prints. They don't like to print things a ton into oblivion, and so when they did do a reprint, it was kind of a big shock for a lot of people. So, you know, that's where it's kind of hard for me to say, oh yeah, they're totally going to reprint it. Because if I look at it from the Pokemon Company's perspective in, you know, the United States, comparing it, but you can't really do that, you know, so it's hard to say. I would more than likely say no, but I don't know, man. The set's been extremely high demand and prices have obviously just continued to go up, so who knows, they could still address that by printing more. Hash Catchin, what's up, my guy? Thanks for stopping by as always, brother. My investing purpose, is there a minimum market price you pick up any alt art at? Any alt art at? I mean, it's just whatever I think is a good price for that specific card, you know? Like for myself, if I go in and, I don't know, let's go to Polkadata and just take a look at some cards. You know, it's hard for me because I'm first and foremost, a sealed product investor more than I am a, investor of individual cards. If I'm going to get individual cards, it's going to be master sets, and that's more along the lines of me having fun because I want to have the full entire set. So it's hard for me to speak in that regard. However, you know, when it comes to prices, when I saw the Empoleon card at $20 for an alt art card, and I'm a huge Gen 4 fan, I thought that price was undervalued. Obviously, there's been adjustment to it, but for other reasons, competitively viable card. So that's something for myself. But, you know, when I see a card like this Tornadius V at, you know, $11, I think it's at $11 for a reason. It has nothing to do with the fact that, like, oh, this card's undervalued because it's an alt art and it's at $11. It's like, no, this card's at $11 because it's the least desired alt art in this set, you know? So it's one of those things that's really difficult for me. Now you can make an argument and say, oh look, the Shadow Rider Calyrex V Alt Art is at $20, you know, and make an argument that this is potentially underpriced, especially considering you can go and get the PSA 10 for 90 bucks. But that's with a population 49. Do you think that with a population 49, this card is going to go up in value as more supply comes out, or down in value? So it's, you know, it's really hard for me to say, because I tend to err on the side of prices continuing to go down if there's certain cards that are quote-unquote undervalued. It's very rarely that there's this kind of like small outlier that I would say necessarily that kind of plays to that. But that's just what I would say, personally speaking. But you know, who knows in terms of whether or not there's opportunity for a lot of these singles in the general grand scheme of things for if they happen to bottom out. I would more than likely say it's hard to tell when a set's still in rotation. How do you feel about Lost Origin alt arts? Just pulled the Aerodactyl alt art and debating whether to sell it or hold onto it long term. Well, I mean, obviously, if you're looking at it from a long term perspective, I think it'll do really good. My opinion on it is very much so. I've been a huge believer of the card Aerodactyl's artwork. It's been a card that I haven't, you know, stopped talking about because I think the card is great. And I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. You know, I was a big disbeliever with Machamp and the alt art design work with that being a reason why it was so expensive, because it had a cool art design. I said if that were true, then Aerodactyl would do well on the first opening week. What do you know? It went up literally 100% in value. So it's one of those things where, you know, I was proven wrong by that, and now I'm on the bandwagon, and I've changed my whole mindset of, hey, artwork does matter. And that's where my new mentality is. And so I'm a huge believer in that regard of the card as itself, that it will hold long-term value. Now, the question I guess you really have to ask yourself is this. We know right now that there is, you know, a very low pull rate for alternate arts. And so there's a ton of scarcity for Lost Origin. So you can play the game in this regard. You can hold on to the card and say, I think it's only going to go up in value, but obviously, as we see right now, it's starting to make corrections from its, you know, high of opening week, because it is, you know, it's making that adjustment because there's so much hype as the price continue to go up. So you can say to yourself one of two things. Either one, I'm going to sell right now because I think it could potentially correct more, or you're saying to yourself, I think that I'm going to wait for there to be a potential reprint for Lost Origin, because you're going to see prices eventually for this card continue to rise as long as there's no reprints for this specific set. I think either or, it's not a bad idea. You either cash out now, and hey, if you're wrong, you can always buy in at a slightly higher price, or you can take that money and put it in other opportunities in the market. You know, it's fully up to you on how you want to approach that. But I would say you're in a good position one way or another, because it's a really good card. And the only thing where I would say you're going to be screwed is if we hear Lost Origin reprint news, and then they say either one of two things. Either they're just reprinting the set heavily, or they're reprinting the set heavily and it's going to be with better pull rates, which they would never announce something like that, but that's just, you know, how it would go. So that's just kind of my opinion on it. And it's always fun to see, because if you guys look at Lost Origin booster box prices, you know, the prices of the booster box have started to make adjustments on going down. They're now pushing $98, and I think personally, you know, this is my opinion, of course, I think this really comes down to the fact that with the overall pull rates, a lot of people are really just kind of turned off by that, because people love alternate arts, and it's started to see the demand start to quickly go down. That's what I would say, but yeah, that's just my personal opinion on the thing. Scratch'em says, oh my god, I'm late. What's up, Eli? What's up, Scratch'em? Yeah, what the heck, man? Where you been? We missing ya. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully all is well with you. Thoughts on the Lumion alt art from Burning Shadow? Seems like a super hard pull that's selling at a fair rate. Well, yeah, let's go take a look and see what the price of it is from Brilliant Star. I think it's selling for around the $20-ish price point, if I'm correct. Yeah, it's selling for around that price. I mean, I love the design. I think that the art design for this card is extremely gorgeous. Obviously, if we look at just the general value of the card at $20, let's go take a look and see what it is in terms of graded price. I mean, you gotta assume this card's been graded. I know it's a really new set, but people love their fast grade, so let's see where it's currently standing right now. I'm gonna say it's probably, if I were to guess, right here, right now, I'm saying $90. That's what it's worth. Ooh, 132. Interesting. So that is a lot higher than I would have thought in terms of pricing. I mean, as far as the card design goes, I guess the reason why the 10 is at that higher price point is because there is more desirability for this art design. Pretty good spread between the 9 and the raw. That's a really good spread. Wow. And the card's only $20. Okay, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's a good opportunity right there for you. It's only $20 to buy the card. Your spread is about what? It's about a $35 spread, and your PSA 10 opportunity is $132. Yeah, I think this is a really undervalued card. I think this is a really good value to pick up. I love this card value. I think it's awesome. So no, I think this is great. I think this is a great card, and I think there's opportunity here. Have you heard if the pulls are less in the ETBs from big box stores? My Costco has a Chilling Reign ETB with EV tins for $37. Seems like a great deal. No, it is a great deal, Jerry. I mean, obviously, you have to think about it in this regard. Wholesale, technically speaking, MSRP, technically speaking, for ETBs is $40. Now, if you want to look at it that way, or if you want to look at it, well, market, it doesn't matter. That's how you look at it, right? One of two ways. So if we go and look at what the overall pricing is for the sealed product in Chilling Reign for the ETBs, it's going for roughly around $40. So they're selling for roughly around the MSRP price point, right? At this point. And so if you're saying, all right, well, I'm getting it $3 under MSRP, and I'm also getting a free item with that of 4 extra packs, that's an incredible deal. So yeah, I think it's a great price. Obviously, there was Evolving Sky, so if you had picked up that, then that would have been an even better deal. But I mean, buying the Chilling Reign is still a good value. Are there any trainer gallery cards that you think could be undervalued? Oh, that's a tough one for me to say, because in terms of investability at this point, it's very hard for me to be in love with the trainer gallery potential, because the pull rates on most of these things are extremely high. Like, sure, we can sit here and say like, oh yeah, Starmie or Garchomp is going to do really well long term, and we can go look at the charts for that just to kind of have a conversation about it. But it's just like, they're so easy to pull. So when I look at it from that perspective compared to alt arts, which are much harder to pull, there's definitely a conversation to be had there. Now, if of course I do see these spreads like this, I'm always going to say, hey, this is a great opportunity. $33 to $75 for a 9, like that's a really good opportunity. So am I going to say, hey, if you go in and you buy this card at this price and say, am I going to discourage that from being something you invest in? No, of course not, because that's a really good price point and that's a really good opportunity. And I mean, the 9, look, the 9's even better. Like, look at the 9 price. The spread most recently $100 sale, and you're saying $28, so it's cheaper and you're getting more value out of it. I mean, this is incredible. So it's interesting because right now we're seeing these values, and I'm not going to discredit that, because this is exactly what I look for when we talk about whether a card is investable or not. I guess my just greatest fear is that as it stands right now, if you were to go in and you were to grade this card and you were to sit in a queue for 3 to 6 months waiting for the card to be returned, what are the odds that there's going to be Astral Radiance product, more of it, booster boxes, that are going to be getting printed and floating around, that's going to cause the value of this card to absolutely crash? And that's just my overall fear. I would say that I personally have. I would love, of course, for this card to continue to be a stronghold as someone who's a huge Garchomp fan. You know, I absolutely love Garchomp. It's my favorite card. Cynthia's my favorite character. This is one of my favorite cards they've put out in the Ultra Modern era. So as it stands right now, like I said before, I'm not going to fault it for what it's doing right now because it's at an amazing price. You just still have to be speculative because these cards are, you know, fairly easy to pull for character rares compared to alternate art. So you have to take that into consideration because if a reprint happens, this is going to get hit a lot harder than alt arts, and alt arts are going to get hit hard. So you can imagine how bad it's going to hit these. Which ETB is better if it's the same price, Vivid Voltage or Lost Origin? I mean, history would tell you Vivid Voltage and character would tell you Vivid Voltage. So I guess we're going to go Vivid Voltage. Do you see Brilliant Stars ever dropping to $100? Or 110 more realistic? Yeah, I see 110 happening and I see 100 happening. I mean, my general strategy would be this, Jason, is if it drops to 110, you buy in, but make sure you don't go full in. You would just like put in a good amount of equity into it yourself, and then if it goes down to 100, then sweet, we can dollar cost average. Or if you want to take the approach and wait till 100, you can do that. I expect there to be a pretty decent sized reprint for Brilliant Star, as there's been a lot of expectation, especially from what my distributors told me, that we're going to get a reprint for it that's going to be much bigger and going to play a huge effect. It just kept getting pushed back, so that's what I would have to say with that. I'm in the opinion that Aerodactyl card skyrocketed because PokeRev couldn't pull it on its 11-hour stream. I highly doubt that, man. I think that's really speculative. That, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, he obviously has influence in the Pokemon market, but the Aerodactyl card wasn't the only card that increased in value. Like, the Giratina card also increased in value. And I mean, you could be right, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not fully discrediting you in that regard, I'm just saying that's speculative, you know? Versus right now with the most recent last two sets that we can track that have really cool art designs, we can look to both of them and say, alright, well, maybe there's a correlation that's, you know, that's growing here in terms of art designs. Are you selling off most of your Zard UPCs initially or setting a portion back to sell at later dates? I'm selling most of it initially. And that's just basically what I've done. I do have a small amount set off to the side just for like friends and family that I'm going to be giving as gifts. But yeah, I would say as far as it goes, it's mainly selling. And another thing too with that is, so it is confirmed there is a second wave. My distributor told me that today, so that's interesting. I haven't obviously got my numbers for that, but it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. Scratch him says, me too, yes, success. Koga's here. You should get Nightbot, Eli. Could help with all these bots. Yeah, I have no clue what Nightbot is. I'll definitely have to look into it. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. It was getting extremely hot here for a second, and I had to turn on the fan. Nightbot, is that what I just look up, Nightbot? And then just, yeah, I have no clue, dude. It's annoying how this always happens in the chat at one point or not. I'll look into it, though. So one of my collection goals is to get every modern alt art from set Sun and Moon era. I'm about 90% complete. Would you say Master Set would be a good investment? Purchase many during their lows? Well, first and foremost, man, I don't have to tell you whether it's a good investment or not, because if you start off your conversation with saying, I invested them during their lows, well, you've already made a return. What am I going to tell you? I can sit here and say, oh, no, it's a crappy investment. Bro, if you bought in during the lows and you've seen that price correct, you're doing great. So in terms of if you're talking about from an investment perspective, I mean, sure, there's an argument to be made that, hey, we're probably going to start topping out here with a lot of these alt art designs in the Sun and Moon era because they're starting to get overinflated. I can sit here and say that, but long-term perspective, I think there's a ton of value in these cards, and I think they're awesome. I'm a huge fan of alt art designs in general, and I think Sun and Moon kind of paved the way for Sword and Shield with that. Not planning to sell, but thinking it will hold its ground over the years. Yeah, no, totally. When do you expect Silver Tempest to reveal alt arts? We're expecting the alt arts to start to get revealed during the Japanese release for their second set, which is the 21st, so probably the 19th of October is when we'll see it. Is PSA graded markets that high in demand? I've never graded a card before. Just many people actually buy graded cards. Yeah, I mean, grading's huge because it obviously bridges the gap between knowing whether a card is legit or not, because it's officially been verified by a grader. You know what the true quality, well, at least we'd like to think, you know what the true quality in terms of the card's actual, grade is. Of course, we've seen a lot of cards where they're like, that's a 9 and not a 10, or that's a 10, not a 9, like, so you got to take everything with a grain of salt in that regard. But yeah, I would say PSA is king still. I mean, ultra modern wise, you obviously, I mean, here's the deal, man. You have to look at it this way. Beckett is the biggest when it comes to grading harshly. Beckett grades extremely harsh, right? So there's value to be there with the black labels, and there's opportunity to be there with the overall just mass grading. A promo card, you hit a black, boom, it's great. Black label just gets you there. So there's still opportunity there, and I would much rather take that approach if we're talking from an ultra modern perspective. But there's still opportunity in the market in terms of 9s and 10s value in PSA, but they're few and far in between as we start to see a lot of the sets that have those spreads for TCG compared to their PSA 9 counterparts. And then CGC is just a beast of its own. It could be one or the other. It could be above PSA price value, it could be below. It just really comes down to the card you're looking at, I can't sit here and say across the board that it's one way or another, because it's not. Jason, what's up, my guy? Thanks for stopping by. Also, make sure, guys, to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I appreciate all the love and support. Let's get some likes up in here, baby. Jones Drew says, congrats on 4K subs on YouTube. Chat, can we all drop a like? That's so funny. I appreciate that, Jones. Yeah, let's have a like party, baby. But yeah, I'm excited. We got 4K, obviously. I think we're at 4,030 right now, so we've gained 30 subs in the past couple days. And so pretty ecstatic to be at that 4,000 mark. Obviously, 5,000 is the next mark. And right now, kind of just doing the same old, chugging along. But like I said before, I have a lot of things I want to start pushing for the YouTube channel and improving on, so that we can start to have more aggressive growth. I mean, if you guys literally go back and look at what PokeRev's channel was at the beginning, it was very much similar to what my channel was. And that's where he made a transition early on. If we go to, let's say, PokeRev, right? Let's go PokeRev. And I'm going to have to mute him completely, I think. Will I have to mute him? I don't think so, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, if you go through and you look at his transition of a channel, he's had such a drastic growth and development in terms of what he's actually done. Just before I go by and scroll all the way. Date oldest. So he did obviously have some box breaks that he was doing, but mainly his whole thing was he would have conversations about certain Pokemon product. And now obviously he started off with having more views because the man's been in the hobby forever and he has a ton of the product, and so people of course are going to look to him in that regard. But in terms of like actually what he's done nowadays versus what he did before, he's obviously much more of a hype type guy, and he looks at his, graded cards of Pokemon. He obviously, does openings for older rare vintage stuff. So it's like he does that, and then he has his occasional talks about what he thinks is going on in the market. But his level of enthusiasm and his more talk centric was kind of what the main focus of what his older videos is. But now it's very much hypey, very much mystery pack based kind of transition. So obviously I'm not at a point right now, nor are we at a point right now with current prices where it's, realistic to go back and do what he's doing right now, unless I had gotten in during the time he had gotten in. But it's very much realistic to do what he's doing now because his bottom line is a lot better. Having to only focus on doing mystery packs that people are sending to him for free, or he's basically going in and buying off of, you know, Walmart, Etsy, any of these things, and they're a lot cheaper for him. Do you think trainer gallery pull rates are spread out pretty evenly, or are there certain TG cards that seem to be harder to pull? Hard to say, man. I haven't heard any specific people complain about certain cards in the trainer gallery being harder, other than the most recent Pikachu set, which obviously we've already pulled. So from my personal experience, I've pulled all the main pulls from the trainer galleries. And by all the main pulls, I mean Cosmic Eclipse even. Cosmic, I've pulled the Red's Pikachu twice. I've pulled the Garchomp, and I've pulled the Misty. I've pulled the Sylveon and Umbreon. I've pulled all the Pikachus, so it's hard to say. I feel like they're pretty easy overall. Do I open my black and white legendary treasures pack I got from a Pokerev mystery pack? Ooh. I mean, dude, think about it this way, man. That's a pack. I don't know, man. That's a hard one to say. I mean, you can like you can always weigh it. You can always weigh it and see if there's anything in it, you know? And if there's something in it, then open it. If there's not anything in it, then display it or get it graded. That's what I would probably do if it were me. So taking the chance of opening a legendary treasures pack and not getting anything out of it would suck, especially since you paid so much for Pokerev's pack, and the odds of pulling that are really slim. So I just pulled a Giratina V Altar to the pre-release kit, was ready to give up, but hey, shout out to you on that one, Jason. That's sick. I'm trying to get to make Ash's Mewtwo card. Hey, that would be cool. Do you think pre-release kits have better pull rates to make sets release be more successful? I have no clue, man. I haven't seen any data on that, so I couldn't tell you, honestly. John Boy, Pokebondo, join the Discord and show me sometime. Eli, have you thought of being a middleman for PSA? Well, it's funny you say that, John Boy. That was actually the original intention of the website, Pokemart USA, is it was supposed to originally be a middleman site, but then it started to get oversaturated and I steered directions and started to go retail. Yeah, because I felt like there was a need. I feel like there was a need for it and there wasn't a ton of competition. Obviously, you had Ludwig's, but that was it. I love seeing Rev's old Pokemon collection pickups. Oh yeah, it was great going back and watching some of the stuff he's gotten. It's crazy. Yeah, he's definitely transitioned a lot as a channel, but I mean, his growth has been tremendous, and you know, you can't blame him for the direction he's going, and hats off to him for it. Bought 3 Evolving Skies booster box at $185 each, regardless of the price. Do you think it's a good move? Seems like the set will be unstoppable in a few months. I mean, as I've said before, I'll say it again. I think right now, and anything... I think if you're buying an Evolving Skies booster box, right? If you bought in at $144, it wasn't a bad price. If you bought in at $150, $160, $170, $180... as long as it's above the current price to where you can make your money's worth, then obviously it was a good investment opportunity for you in the moment. However, your risk to reward ratio is extremely high if there is a reprint. So unless you're sitting here and saying to yourself you're willing to just sell right before the reprint news happens, and you're going to have to quickly sell that thing and be prepared for that, knowing that you could lose so much money, that's my biggest concern with that $185 price point. So unless you bought it hoping to make a quick flip, you know, that's fine. But otherwise, for myself, I'm not touching Evolving Skies with a 10-foot pull until it goes back down to at least 120. And it's going to, because we've got more reprints coming, and with the most recent reprint, it was a very small one that they gave us that did basically, you know, it dropped the price down to 120 obviously, but it sold out everywhere at 120 where it was being sold. So in terms of actual predicted price drop, considering we had that small of a print and it dropped to that low of prices, when we get a lot larger of a print, which is expected pretty soon in the near future here, you're going to see that correction being made, and I know people might think I'm crazy, but I think you could realistically see 120 below again. Now, until that happens, yes, it's going to be unstoppable. I do agree. So it's really just when that reprints are going to happen, and only time will tell with that. Good question is, how many millions of subs will Pokey Rev end with? His Pokey hype churning out the daily content is getting massively popular, a big help bringing the next generation. Agreed. John Boy, speaking of Etsy, Poke department store for him making gift boxes. John Boy with the shameless shilling. Shout out to John Boy on that one. Open 280 Lost Origin packs, no Pika Roserade TG yet. Very surprising to me. Yeah, I think we've basically pulled, we've pulled a lot. We haven't pulled everything in terms of the character rares. We've pulled a gosh darn large amount of it. Let's see, what have we not pulled for character rares? I think there's only a couple of the top ones we haven't pulled. We haven't pulled Boss's Orders. We haven't pulled the Crobat. We haven't pulled the Orbeetle. Haven't pulled the Senna Scorch. I think we pulled the Cast Form. I'm not 100% certain. I feel like we did. I mean, yeah, we pulled most of it, I would say. There's obviously a couple here and there. I think it's only beneficial for the hobby. The more subs he gets, Rev is likely to a good entry point for people. No, I 100% agree. I think what he's doing for the hobby is awesome. Tyrone says, also, thanks for stopping by, Tyrone. Always good to see you. Hey Eli, you seen the Japanese Rayquaza VMAX alt-art price? I have not. Let's take a look. Japanese sets. It's not this set, right? No, it's not. It's not Towering Perfection. It's Blue Stream Skies, I think. Well, let's see what the price movement has been. For just the raw, the PSA 10, oh my gosh. What the heck? Why did the raw price just shoot up randomly? What about the PSA 10 price? Bro, that's kind of dumb. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That makes 0 sense. Why? There's no way that's not some sort of artificial... I mean, let's look at the listing ID on this. Quantity available, 1 sold. 96.5 positive feedback. Yeah, man, I would ignore that. I would ignore that. That's just a fluke sale. You're not saying that all of a sudden it's almost the same price getting a raw as it is a PSA 10. That makes 0 sense. Yeah, I would ignore that, man. That's just fluke. Just scored a sealed case of Silver Tempest for $5.80 with free shipping. Shout out to you on that one, Jason. $5.80 free shipping. What is that? How much is that a box? 580 divided by 6. It's at 96 bucks. Yeah, not bad, not bad. John Boy, I've been slacking, not joining yet, going to right now. Yeah, what the heck, Pokebondo? What's the next collection box that you would pick up? Collection box that I would pick up, Sergio? Bro, what is with the chat today and these spam bots? They're just all over the place. Ooh, what's the next collection box? Oh, that's a tough one, man. That is a really tough one, I would have to say. Because the collection boxes are few and far between in terms of ones that I want to pick up at this very moment. I mean, other than the Eevee playmat box, you know, and obviously the CUPC, there's not really ones I can say I'd want to get, especially with all of these, you know, premium collection boxes that have been coming out that have been absolute trash. So I'm honestly gonna have to say, wow, I don't know, man. There's not many right now available that I'm really hyped about in terms of premium collection value. There's just not. I mean, in terms of premium collection value, it's either boom or bust right now. It's either this is an extremely cool premium collection or no one wants it. There's no in between as it stands right now. Because it's Celebration Ultra Premium Collection and Sword and Shield Ultra Premium Collection are the two at the top, and then there's nothing anywhere close to it. So it's hard, man. Ultra Premium Collections and then just Premium Collection boxes in general are they're just tough. I guess you could make the argument for the Sword and Shield Premium Collection. That's a cool box. I think you could make a value out of that. What? I think you'd find that under Vivid Voltage, I think is what that'd be under. I am correct. We'll take a look and see if we can find that. Ooh, sealed product. Yeah, I feel pretty confident it's under Vivid Voltage. Yeah, right here. I mean, you could pick up one of these. I mean, there's definitely a value here for sure. I think they retail for $65 because they come with 12 packs and a gold promo and stuff. So the fact that you're able to get it right now for $65 is a really good price. Isn't that MSRP? I think they're sick boxes, and I think they'll do well long term. That's what I would recommend. I wouldn't call it a premium box, but I mean it's a premium elite trainer box. So does that count? I consider that a collection box. Do you send in many cards for grading or mainly dealing with sealed products? So John Doe, I just sent in 92 cards for grading. That's what I did. So I send them in for grading when it's worth it. I mean, gosh, let me go to my account and I can actually show you. I should be able to show you guys the details of my order. Just want to scroll through all the way, make sure I don't accidentally leak anything. Yeah, 92 cards. It's currently in the assembly process, which that's exciting. So here we can share that with some people that are interested in. So 92 cards. You guys are probably going to see an extremely big theme as to what specifically I'm grading. So as a huge Diamond and Pearl fan like myself, there's quite a bit of Diamond and Pearl era cards that I'm sending in for grading. So quite a bit of Diamond and Pearl cards. So yeah, I'm definitely sending in cards for grading. I just was waiting forever and ever and building it up and building it up. When do you think you'll reopen bulk submissions? That's a great question. Probably open up bulk submissions sometime I want to say in the next month and a half or two. That's what I would say with that. Rafael Zeno says hi. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, once we get the store open and ready to roll and we start to get more space for that, that's when we'll focus on the bulk side of things. Pokerev getting more kids in the hobby. That will hopefully bring money into the hobby in 15 years. No, 100%. As the hobby grows, more demand comes in over time because there's more people, then it's obviously good for investors. Wouldn't you expect Pokemon wouldn't miss dumping a lot of Evolving Skies booster boxes for the holidays? Yes, I would expect that, which is why I'm, highly of the persuasion that that's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm a firm believer in that regard. Here, I'll scroll down some more in case people care to see what else I got. Just for the fun of it all. What are your thoughts on the Zard UPC? I got 200. I mean, it's not a terrible price by any means. Obviously, my main price point, I said, where I'm at a point where I'm like, yeah, I think this is worth it. That was at a 180. So you're about $20 off of that. Once again, I'm not necessarily going to fault you and say that you're getting in $20 higher than what my preferred price would be, because obviously it's been extremely hot, but we know we're going to have a price correction in the initial release, and then the second release after that you're going to see another huge correction in price because there's expecting to be a second wave. So not a terrible price by current market standards, but I think there's opportunity for it to go much lower. Babe Cakes, what's up? Finally you're here. What the heck, man? Did I miss anything good? Let me see. What are we having conversations about? I mean, we've been all over the place. Just mainly same old talking about regular cards. Nothing extremely exciting you missed. Seen the UPC has gone down to almost $200 flat for pre-orders, but I'm waiting. Hopefully it just hits retail. Also thought on Special Delivery Charizard as a 5-year hold. I mean, we now know Special Delivery Charizard is just so easy for people to get. The codes and access and the value of that card specifically is extremely oversaturated on the TCG player market. It's crazy to me. It's literally like it's free real estate over there right now. So I would definitely say I would definitely say it could do well over time, but it's probably going to be so oversaturated in terms of its grade. I wouldn't personally look into that too much. If Pokemon stop making trainer gallery cards at the end of Sword and Shield era block, do you think you'll see an uptick price like Cosmic one did? I think getting one of each is a safe bet. Yeah, no, it's entirely possible. I mean, if you have any sort of specific era that has card designs that people love, and then you just stop making them, and now you go back and look at an era which is now specific to those card designs, and you say, really wish they had them, but this is it, then of course you're going to funnel a lot of people going to that specific era to enjoy it because there's no other alternative. Which with Rayquaza being the most popular amazing rare, is it worth picking up some currently? I mean, like I said, going back to it, John Doe, with my whole thing with Vivid Voltage, we know that the price corrections right now, like, they're there. Like, the price corrections have already been made and adjusted for with that set. So you're pretty much getting in at the bottom. So if you're wanting to get in at the Rayquaza, you're getting in at its ultimate bottom. You know, you could see slight price correction going down, but population is there, and it's already extremely high. So you're hoping, obviously, that with it being a high population and with Amazing Rare seem to be not something that they're bringing back as of any time at this moment, that it could hold value in the future. The only concern, of course, is that there's such a high population, it could become oversaturated in that regard. I'm excited to open my mystery pack. Heck yeah, sorta. Yeah, I'm excited for our mystery packs too. We've sold a decent amount so far, so definitely definitely excited that people have gotten into those. For those people that are in the stream wondering what he's referencing, we just recently dropped our Pokemon USA mystery packs, and they're very similar to our competitors. However, our pull rates are much better. It's 1 in 16 for gold, 1 in 8 for silver, 1 in 4 for red, and then blue, obviously. So pull rates are much better with this for the same price. And on top of it, as far as it goes too, I've mentioned this before, the main gold pull is going to be a Power Keepers heavy pack. I purposely weight packed in favor of you guys. Yes, I know that sounds weird, but I like to do that. I think it's more fun that way, because I feel like a lot of the biggest reason why Pokerev likes to charge a ton more is because he has a bunch of sealed boxes and he wants that sense of full unweightedness security. And so I said, well, I'm going to go even further past that and say, hey, how can you one up that? We're just going to weigh them purposefully so that you guys are hitting heavies in some of them. Now, obviously not every pack is going to be a guaranteed heavy, but a good portion of the main hits, you know, silvers and golds, will be heavy. So that's kind of the main thing that we're excited about with the Power Keepers, because it's a really good set and it's a really expensive, really expensive pack. But yeah, really excited about that. And obviously, as mentioned before, you know, the red value of packs has gone up drastically because we're going to start pushing packs at higher value price points. So we're really excited about that. And same goes with the overall silver prices. Yeah, so check it out, Pokemon USA, our website, if you don't already know. But I'm excited for it, for sure. 10 packs of sleeved Evolving Skies from Target skunked. That's why I was late. Oh, dang, dude. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, that's painful. 10 hacks getting skunked on Evo. That hurts the wallet and that hurts the heart. I'm sorry. Are you going to do a video showing your return? Yes. I'm excited for that video. And yes, I will. Hey, I got an Astro Radiance Elite Trainer box and didn't know. I think you spelled no wrong. If I wait or sale. I don't know if Pokemon will do a reprint and it goes down. Hold on one second. I need to read that one more time. I got an Astro Elite Trainer box and don't know if I wait or sale. I assume you're trying to say decide to sell it or not. I do not know if a reprint will go down. I mean, how much did you get it for, Raphael? That's the first question. And are you trying to flip it? Are you trying to hold long term? Like, what is your kind of what's your whole thing that you're trying to do? Right, CJ, it's only one Charizard per household right now, but it refreshes every week. You get a new code, so you can easily go work around that. What do you think is a good price for Legendary Collection Booster Pack? $9.49, okay, just curious. For a Legendary Collection Booster Pack? Oh, gosh. That's a good question. Oh, I always hated how expensive it was. I mean, let's go and see what eBay shows. There's actually one time we're going to look at eBay in this regard. I mean, the question is, what kind? What kind are you trying to pull here? Are you trying to go unweighted, weighted? Let's see what the recent sales are telling us. Recent sales will tell us the way, obviously. Oh my gosh, dude. These chatbots are ridiculous at this moment. Here, I can go in myself now and I can control and ban this. I should be able to. Goodness gracious, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's funny to see because if you look at the most recent sales, man, like the last one is $900, and that was a while ago. Question is, of course, was that a heavy? Does it specify which one it was? Sealed and unweighted, obviously, if you believe that. The heavy, they're quote unquote saying heavy, sold for that amount. Potential heavy, obviously, sold for that amount. $850 potential heavy. I mean, so much quote unquote potential heavies. It's like, I don't know, that's kind of tough, man. So, I mean, if you're asking the question, do I think $9.49 is a good price? It comes down to really, what's the weight of it? Or are you just saying in general? Because I think weight's going to play a huge factor. How many special delivery Charizards do you think might be printed compared to an ETB promo, like Celebrations or Hidden Fates? Enough to where the Pokemon Company knows they're going to be able to sell a ton of their backstock product by forcing people to purchase from the Pokemon Center website. So that's what I would say. It's a genius move on their part, honestly, to force people to buy promos by going through and purchasing from the Pokemon Center website, and it forces them to buy product. Like, that's such a big brain move. Costs them literally nothing to do, and they're able to get rid of bad product, and they have to spend at least $25. So honestly, I can see it being a crap ton. Jones Drew said Eli's here for the community. I appreciate that. Being Charizard, I think SDC with Pikachu on its back will remain a popular card for collection, especially if it's kept factory sealed. I mean, it's entirely possible. Yeah, I mean, you could see it. It's two extremely popular character cards. Like, I'm not denying that it won't have value long term. The question obviously is, you know, just because necessarily it's a Charizard doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's going to the moon, because if it's overprinted, as we've seen with XY evolutions, it can still stay low in price. Discussing a trade and wanted your opinion, Alt Art Machamp and Alt Aerodactyl, and he was asking for a sealed trade. I got a set of EV premium boxes offered that paid retail for them. So the trade was, just so I'm getting this right, it was the Machamp and it was the Alt Aerodactyl for the trio of the EV premium boxes. That's a tough one, man. I mean, right. It's a tough one. Oopsie, wrong click. I would say you probably got the better deal for the sealed product. Yeah, I would go with you on that one. It's not like a crazy better deal, but you definitely got a better deal in that regard for sure. It also depends on the condition of the cards in the box. That also plays a factor. But yeah, not a bad trade by any means. I'm currently buying any booster box in ATB. I'm new to the hobby, but not new to Pokemon. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day. My strat's just to hold for 5-10 years. I believe price will increase. Well, shout out to you, man. Thanks for stopping by, obviously, to the channel. And feel free to watch any of my top 5 videos. I have a ton of them that you can look at historically and see where my stance has kind of changed on that. Might add more on my end a bit because I've seen people sell a set for 180, 200. I mean, yeah, that's where it's like I say you slightly got the better deal, and not, oh my gosh, you absolutely smoked it in terms of getting the better deal. Because if we go back and we take a look at the value of the let's look up VMAX Premium Collection. Right? I mean, I don't know, man. At least from a TCG player perspective, you got better value. I mean, you could probably say at eBay, yeah, I stand by my statement. It's slightly better because, I mean, at least you don't have to go through the trouble of trying to find a better deal in that regard. But it's tough, man. I would almost say it's an even trade, but maybe you slightly got a better deal. At least there's going to be less volatility with your boxes than there will be his cards, though. So obviously, it probably changed in favor for yourself over time. You meant unweighted pack? I mean, $9.50 for an unweighted pack? Dude, that's tough, man. I mean, I would say probably not, dude. Honestly, like my honest opinion, Jason, if you're going, here's the deal, man. I am very patient when it comes to my pack purchases on eBay because having done offline eBay sales, I know the amount of money you can make off of, or not the amount of money you can make, but the amount of discounts you can get by selling offline eBay or buying offline eBay. Because one of the things that I like to do, you know, and this is just my personal approach, is if, let's say, for example, I want to buy some Diamond and Pearl Era packs, right? I will go on eBay. I will see a guy that's selling a ton of them, and I will see that they're at a decent price. Let's say it's at your $9.50 price point, right? Comparing it. I will then message the guy directly, and I will say, hey, will you do a deal off of eBay and save yourself some fees? 90% of the time they say yes. We message each other, and then I get a better deal. And that's what I would do for something like that, personally speaking. Or I go to Facebook Marketplace groups and I message, hey, anyone have this specific product I'm looking to buy? And then I get a good deal on it. Those are the two routes I usually go. Or, of course, if you're looking at it from a bulk purchasing perspective, if I see, like I said, that someone's selling a lot of the specific product, message them saying, hey, would you do a deal if I bought everything you had for that specific item, do a bulk deal, and I get a massive discount. So for me, $9.50 seems high because you're looking at it at general eBay market price, and I feel like you can get at least a 10% cheaper price at that point. So you probably get it closer to the $800, I would have to say. But that's just my general strategy on how I like to do it. Travis, always nice to see Travis here. Saw, dude. Well, thanks for stopping by. Glad you're here, man. Just join your discard Pokemon pack. Deal doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, we did, so our first packs that we did, it was $40, and it was 25 for gold, 10 for silver, and so on and so forth. But we decided, because we did a poll, people were a lot bigger fans of, hey, if we're gonna go the mystery pack route, let's just go for it with the odds, you know? And so that's exactly what we did. We just people preferred a slightly increased price for a much better odds. And so that's just kind of the approach that we really took with that. So obviously, as long as people are happy about it at the end of the day, in my opinion, that's really all that matters. But yeah. We just saw a large Brilliant Star ETB wave the size of DAVV with cases currently at 299. Do you think we'll see another Brilliant Star ETB rate this size again? No, not at all, John. I highly doubt that. I mean, it's entirely possible, obviously. Like, you never can say never in terms of these things. But this was a massive reprint. And there's been a ton of Brilliant Stars floating around, and I think it's a really good opportunity to get it for that price point of around $30 or cheaper for an ETB, especially considering how high demand of a set it is. I felt that their ETBs have always been undervalued, and obviously I've been a huge fan of the Brilliant Star Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, so this is another good opportunity to get in on that. I got a Dragonite shirt alongside my SDC. Sad that Arcanine Greatest Hits sold out, but Dragonite is 6 shirt design as well. Hi, well, shout out to you on that one. Sorry if I wasn't super clear on the trade question, but yes, you understood. Yeah, I got you. Kimberly, hey, nice seeing you around these parts, Kimberly. Hopefully all is well with you. I think SDC could be Ancient Mew, a lot of print, but always a liquid card, a quick sell. Yeah, I mean, that's entirely possible, man. Like I said, I don't want people to get the misrepresentation that I'm discrediting the value of the card itself. I'm just saying that you have to temper your expectation based off of how much was printed. Pika, oh my goodness gracious, what the heck, man? Where have you been? Glad to see you here. Is this Ragnarok music? I have no clue, man. I always just throw the music in the background. It is 2 hours of peaceful music. That is all I can tell you of what it is. Trade hasn't gone through, but appreciate your opinion. Yeah, I mean, if the trade hasn't gone through, Pokebondo, then here's what I would do. I would go through and see if you can find prices for, I think, I mean, honestly, Pokebondo, just like I was saying with Jason, I think you could probably find a better deal for the, if you're trying to spend the money. But if you're trying to go trade, then that's not a bad trade by any means if you're trying to go the trade route, because you're getting a pretty equivalent value. I don't think you're getting swindled by any means. But for me personally, you could probably find a better deal with cash. Working out and playing this in the background. Let's go! Lightweight. Travis out here using me as his workout motivation. That's so funny. Yeah, no problem, Jason. Yeah, as someone who's, I mean, does a lot of buying and selling, I can tell you personally, there's always good opportunities. I mean, one guy in particular, there's one guy in particular who, I haven't seen him in the chat in a while, But basically what he would do is he would constantly ask questions all the time of, hey, do you think it's, what do you think the best Diamond and Pearl Air booster box is? Is this a good price? Is this a good price? And I would always go through and tell him, because I have a ton of experience in that regard, like, hey, this is overvalued, this is overvalued, this is overvalued. You're giving way too ridiculous of prices. And I was literally, I would always talk all the time about, hey, there's so many better opportunities that always are going to present themselves in terms of this sealed product. And I gave him all my advice of where to look, etc., etc. And so with that, of course, all being said, you know, every time I'd see a good opportunity, I'd send him a screenshot. And like, for example, the most recent one I sent him about 2 weeks ago was I sent him a screenshot of a Mysterious Treasures booster box selling for $3,500 because he was looking at buying it for around $5 or $6. And I was like, no, you can get that for way cheaper. And so finding it for $3,500, like, that's a great deal. Same thing I said with Stormfront. People thought I was crazy when I said you could find Stormfront for around $5,000. And, you know, I sent him a recent one that was up for sale for $6,000, and I knew that the guy would wiggle down for cheaper to sell it. And yeah, I mean, there's totally opportunities. You just obviously have to more or less get experience in terms of who you follow on Instagram, Facebook message groups that you're in, and knowing how to message out to people on eBay to try and get a better deal. If you're selling in 5+ years, do you think it's more worth selling your whole booster boxes at once or taking the effort breaking it down to ship individual packs? I mean, it really comes down to, John Doe, at the time, where the value is going to be with that. Because obviously, if it's one of those things where I have, let's say, a case, right? Let's say I have a case of a specific booster box, right? Obviously, like 9 times out of 10, selling the individual packs is probably not going to be worth it. Typically, the packs themselves tend to be cheaper. I mean, it's kind of like with Cosmic right now. Like, Cosmic booster box going for like $500. The packs themselves are going for around $11 a piece. I mean, do the math. You're saving so much more going with the loose packs. However, with that being said, if you're breaking it down from a case to just individual booster boxes, there could totally be value there. It just really comes down to what the overall market looks like at that point, because it's hard to say necessarily what that's going to look at prices. But I mean, if we were to literally go and look at certain booster boxes and see right now, hey, is it cheaper for me to buy an Evolutions booster box or is it cheaper for me to buy an Evolutions case? You know, that's going to vary set by set on which is the cheaper route. So you know, there's too many variables to kind of directly equate to that. You'd have to look at that in the future. However, with that being said, that's why there's the luxury of having a sealed case, because you can always play that game of looking at the prices and knowing that if you have that sealed case, you have that option. Derek, how we doing, good sir? Good to see you here. How do you think the transactions away from eBay, avoiding fees, Venmo, Zelle? How do you do the transactions away from eBay? PayPal. I just do PayPal directly as a business or friends and family. You know, you obviously have to be smart with who you're doing it with. If you're just going to someone random who you can't trust, then I'm not doing friends and family any day. But there's a lot of people that I do deals with that are very reputable that I trust, and I do friends and family all the time. But if you obviously are in question in that, then you'll have to pay the premium of PayPal. But I'll tell you this, the PayPal premium is 3.5%, I think is what it is, 3.4, 3.5% versus 15% on eBay. So regardless of the fact of the matter, the margins are so much greater. That's usually the route I would go. I would definitely not go Venmo. I would definitely not go Zelle. Don't go any of these routes. Always go PayPal. PayPal is great because it has the option for you to do friends and family versus not friends and family. And what's great about it too is if you don't go friends and family route, you'll get that buyer protection. So, and you get no buyer protection from Venmo or Zelle. You don't get buyer protection from friends and family, but like I said before, you don't have to go that route. Plus, there's no like maximums in terms of purchases. Track says, I'm going Pokemon shopping. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by as always. Plebisaurus is here too. Man, I feel like, here's a question I gotta ask for you guys. One of the things I've noticed recently, and so I always start my stream at 12:30, right? And for a while, that's kind of how I've always done it. I've recently noticed though, before we were averaging anywhere between 60 to 70 viewers, right? And at the start, it would be a lot lower. It'd be like 40, 50, and then near the end of it, 60, 70. Right now, it's like 30, and now we're at 50. And as we continue to grow, I feel like the viewers start to increase later and later. With all of that being said, my question for you guys, do you think I should keep it at 12:30, or do you think I should push back the stream to 1:30? Because I almost feel like there's more people that come at the 1:30 time frame. Especially too, if you're saying Eastern time, you've got a lot of people that are probably going to be getting off of work shortly after. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but I know a lot of people like to listen to me when they're at work. So it's like, I don't know, which would you prefer? 12:30 or 1:30? Would you guess Pokemon Center Brilliant ETBs will sell out by end of year? Ooh, will they sell out by end of year? It's highly likely. Highly likely. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's highly likely. But Plebisaurus is here to start a party. Hell yeah, baby. Thanks for stopping by. Seems some of the Dragonite V-Star Pogo boxes popping up. Feel like they'll be cool product. MSRP 50 is a stretch. If you've seen them dropping, they're gonna drop, bro. They are going to drop. Yeah, they're cool product for sure, but they're probably gonna drop because it's a dead product. Pogo at this point, for like from a distributor side of things, it's a dead product. They're trying to sell as much as they can. They have so much of it, it's crazy. Last rep, let's go. Stacking some steel product to live. Well, I'm heading to work, so good luck with the bots. I appreciate that, Koga. Thanks for stopping by. Meanwhile, Travis is getting massive. Yeah, right, dude. I got my pre-order for GameStop exclusive. Nice, dude. Shout out to you on that one. I have to ask, with Nostalgianomics return by end of year? Yeah, right. Eli, what is your predictions on Nostalgianomic returning? It's a funny thing. No clue, man. He's kind of gone off the grid. I'll have to message him. I'll reach out to him and I'll let you guys know what he said. So, because it's definitely been a while. Would love to see if he returns. Hopefully he's okay. Kimberly says it's 5 p.m. for you. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. I mean, it's now, so you're Eastern time then. Trax still says 12:30. Well, Trax, what time do you, I mean, you could have, I mean, I have no clue. People lurk all the time. Who knows? I have a meeting in the day, so that's why I joined later. I think 1 hour later would help. Interesting. I've got a meeting till like 1:30ish. It's 11 p.m. for me. Anyone know what happened? So mix so far. I think it seems like Trax obviously wants 12:30. So far, everyone else wants 1:30. I mean, I could always do 1, be in the middle of that, you know. Did Nostalgia just leave after getting dusted by Poco? Great question. Evolving Skies on the shopping list for today. I'm at the gym listening to you daily. Hey, I appreciate that, Trax. Thank you, brother. But yeah, I just noticed, I feel like the viewer count just picks up later. When are you going to react to viewers collecting? That would be Pog. When are you going to react to viewers collections? That'd be cool. 1 p.m. is fine, Track says. Okay, I mean, 1 p.m. sounds like it'd be better then for most people at this point. What do you mean by that, Tyrone, when you're saying when are you going to react to viewers collections? Are you saying like do a reaction video where we have people on the channel and then they just kind of like zoom in and then just flex their collections? Is that what you mean, or what do you mean by that specifically? Always interesting when someone goes from pumping out content to ghosting his channel. We'll see his return. Well, I've noticed that is recent. You guys remember Ava's Binders? Yeah, what's going on with her too? I mean, I know she's, because you know, I talked to her for a while there, but you know, she's been busy, and I don't like to play the game of just texting someone and then they get back to me several weeks later, texting someone, they get back to me several weeks later. It's like, sure, it's, you know, thanks for getting back to me, but it's just tiring. And so when I was talking with her, she was, because her and I had some projects that we wanted to do together, and most recently she's been busy with other things, and those projects, I should say collaborations, have been postponed. I'm still going forward with the project. I'll just have to do it myself. But yeah, if we look at like, here we go. Let's look at Nostalgianomics, most recent video, obviously a month ago. let's see, when was Ava's last video she posted? It was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's yeah, a lot of people just aren't posting as much. Northwood's active though. Shout out to Northwoods. Northwoods is still going strong. He's still posting videos all the time. We'll give him a little shout out. We'll give Northwoods a little shout out. But yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a bummer to see people filter out of the space, you know, because there's always room for crossover within the hobby. John Doe says Ava's been back. She was chatting in Pokenomics stream. Right, but she's not back to posting content. Like, obviously, she's back from when she took her last hiatus, but she's not back in the same regards of, like, posting as usual again, right? Because if we go and look at her content, she obviously had a full period. Where was she last? Right, she had a 2-month period where she was gone from here to here, right? Like a full 2-month period. Then she was back to posting regularly, right? And then it's been 2 weeks since then. I'm not saying like she's not necessarily back and active in the hobby, but her most recent video that I watched of her on her Instagram video that she posted was not Pokemon content. It was her getting her wisdom teeth removed, which that was such a funny video. I was like, I can't believe she posted that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's been 2 weeks. If you're not posting content at least once a week, you're not active. I mean, that's just a reality of it. Unless your channel is built around you not posting content every single week, then, you know, like a Mr. Beast. But obviously, we're not posting Mr. Beast level content. We're doing Pokemon Market updates. Holy crap! These bots are going to make me lose my mind. They keep just populating. She, like I said, she's got an internship. That's what she's doing. She has an internship. So, because she was going to school for some, you know, for finance and has some other finance stuff that she got an opportunity for. So, I'd love to see people flexing their collections. I mean, it could be a cool, like video that I would have people come in live. Yeah, I could totally see that being a good thing. Nostalgianomics is still liking my old comments, so he's still around. Right, well, like I said before, man, there's a difference between still being around and posting content frequently. That's all I'm saying. It'd be funny if Nostalgia saw this video of us making predictions about his return. All right, guys, over, under. We're going to take a poll. Is Nostalgianomics dead or not? No, I'm just kidding. He watches this video. Yeah, that would be funny. And then if he does comment on this video, I will pin his comment. That would be funny. We need a Northwoods collab. Yeah, I would love to do a Northwoods collab. I mean, his most recent video that I watched was the one you recommended, John Boy. I watched the full video of his conversation with Cardinal. I thought that was a good one. Squeak's Gaming World had his collectible conversation end, which was unfortunate. I think you and Squeaks would make for a good modern Pokemon chat. Yeah, I mean, I haven't done collabs, weirdly enough. I mean, I think it's probably because I've been super swamped since the move. I mean, God, I don't think I've... Yeah, the transition obviously has been a lot in terms of me having a bunch of people on. I haven't had anyone since the move, so it definitely would be the right play to start reaching out to people. I mean, it's not like I'm a small enough channel to where I can't have bigger people on. I've obviously had, I've obviously had Pokenomics on. We've had the coolest thing I will say, which is annoying that she never responded, because I did DM her, was Pokey Chloe was in the chat, and I was like, You wanna be on the channel? You want me to interview you? She said hi guys, and everyone was freaking out that Chloe was in the channel. I was like, dang it, couldn't get her on. Would've been cool though. Virtual hug, you got this. I appreciate that, track. Yeah, I mean, dude, I keep hiding the bots. Why do they keep coming back? You should flex the polls from your shop. Oh, well, I'm gonna make a video about that, Trax. When the shop goes live, we're gonna do a really nice video on it. We're gonna make sure, it's probably gonna be my best quality video that I've ever posted. And it's gonna be about the new opening for sure. I'm excited. Yeah, you and Squeak start up a version of collectible conversations. Yeah, I could message him. See what he's up to and what he's about. Maybe not the right place to ask, but what happened to NN? I have no clue, man. Like I said before, I can talk to him. Because, I mean, I've been on his channel several times. He's been on my channel several times. So we're very much connected in that regard. You know, I would say we're friendly with each other. It's not like we're messaging each other all the time. Like, you'll occasionally DM me and questions about certain like things having to do with reprints and distributors, and I'll of course answer. But it's not like one of those, hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? But I always enjoyed him. And obviously if he comes back, I'd always love to do more collabs with him. Smoke bomb and exit, yeah, right. Gotcha. Do you think Shadowless Mint Common and Uncommon could be a good pickup, or too much out there available? I mean, let's take a look and see what you're saying near mint and mint. Oh, that's a good question. I mean, we can try here and go look at the value of just the general raw uncommon commons. I don't know, let's say Starmie, right? Let's look at Starmie, for example. First and foremost, let's just look at the grades. Let's just look at the graded value. All right, we'll look at that first. I mean, let me put it for you this way. Think about it like this, John. If there's already a large amount of it out there and we're seeing price movement happen, then that just goes to show that there's still value within this item because it's been out of print forever. So why not, you know? It's one of these things where the Starmie itself, because we're looking at the Starmie, you're saying, hey, what's going to happen? There's going to be people opening shadowless booster boxes. That's not, I mean, that's going to be very few and far in between. So in terms of, do I think there's too much out there? And if there is too much out there, we're making that argument right now, and we're looking on the fact that this is still very slim in PSA 9, PSA 10 condition, and the value of this card, you know, over time historically performed well. Obviously, you know, if you're talking about right now, it's much cheaper, that's good, you know, and we're looking at it from raw versus PSA 9 versus, of course, PSA 10, which is crazy to think that the 9 was performing better than the 10. That's so weird to see. Look at the price difference on that from a chart. But I guess the floor was better. I mean, the floor obviously is better with the 10, which you would hope so. I mean, it's definitely not, based on what I'm looking at right now, it's definitely not bad by any means. So it's not like the supply is just all of a sudden going to shoot up, and the supply for 10s and 9s is already cheap as it is. So, and you know my opinion on trying to look at spreads, you know. Spread's nice on it. Yeah, no, I like it. I don't think it's bad by any means. Pokemon Classic would be a good guest. Yeah, I'll see if I can get him on. I'll just spam message a bunch of people and be like, who wants to come on? Are you dressing up for Halloween? I would like to. Have no clue what that's gonna look like yet though. If I sent you a ball guy custom, would you wear it for Halloween, or is that too scary for kids? John Doe. Oh my gosh. If you sent me a ball guy costume, would I wear that? Probably not, man. That is way too scary for kids. I mean, if you sent me a costume that was less scary, I'd wear it. But that sounds so scary. A few more push-ups to go. Hype me up. Let's go, Trav. Let's go, big man. Easy, lightweight. Patrick, what's up, my guy? Good afternoon, Eli. What do you think about Moltres v Alt Art PSA 9 for $100? I think it's one of the coolest alt arts of the era. Let's take a look. It's definitely a cool alt art, I will say that. $100 for a 9 sounds steep, but who knows? Let's look at the market and see what it says. Let's see what it tells us. Ooh, I do not like that price. I do not like that price. I do not at all. At that point, I'd much rather go 10, my guy. I mean, look at the spread between the 9 and the TCG. I mean, there's an argument to be made. Don't get me wrong. There is an argument to be made that the PSA 9 is undervalued. But I would like to say that the raw is more than likely overvalued. At that point, I'd much rather go the 10 if you're trying to go with one of the two. Because you think about it this way, man. You're saying you can get a 9 for $100. If the raw is going for $94-ish, then the value of the 9 is the same as getting the raw. There's not really an upgrade in that regard. From going from raw to that, I'd much rather go 10. That's how I like to look at it, at least. You know, who knows? I could be wrong on that, and like I said, you could see it that the 9 all of a sudden skyrockets in value, but I highly doubt that. That just wouldn't make sense. So I would say I prefer the 10 in that regard. But yeah, cool art design for sure. Mr. Mime or Jinx. Oh my god, I'm letting you guys free reign with that. Hey, I mean, if one of you guys is creative who wants to make me a costume for Halloween, why not, man? Once I get my channel more and running up. What do you think the last set will include? Maybe some shiny Blastoise VMAX and Venusaur could be included? Well, that was kind of the speculation I had, Blast, is we had originally seen some dummy images of there being shiny Pokemon in the set, but it seems as if that, from what we've seen with the actual league cards, it looks like they're going the route of alternate art designs and V-Star alternate art designs, so I don't think there's going to be any shinies anymore, sadly. All guys look like Moltres card's a beautiful card. Wouldn't be surprised if it gets more expensive than Blaziken. Definitely possible it was at one point. Plus, if you have raw and want to get it graded, you're going to pay the difference between 9s and 10s raw anyway, just graded, maybe even more. No, exactly, Frag, 100%. And that's why for me personally, I'd much rather go with the 10, or I'd wait for the value of the 9 or the raw to go down. So that's just how I look at it. But you guys know where my indicators are in that regard. You know where I stand with that kind of stuff. But alright guys, so here's the dealio. We are down to the witching hour. We're in the last 5 minutes, right? Yeah, we're in about the last 5 minutes or 8 minutes or so, something like that. Once we hit 2:30, then we're calling it. That's all I'm gonna say. We're at 2:22 right now. So we're gonna start wrapping things up. So anyone that got their questions, let's do it. Let's answer some questions. And yeah, I'll try and see about getting some collabs here and there, guys. I'll try and reach out to some people. The chicken leg isn't huge on Blaziken. Can't really appreciate that card. That's so dumb. Why the heck is Blaziken's leg so skinny? I need some thick legs, baby. So weird. Oh my goodness. Look at the spread, though. Nah. See, I love how it says 152 is the value of the 9, but if you look at it, it's not. I guess if you're going off the one recent sale. Sold. No auction. Sold. 109, 130. Yeah, it's big jump up. I guess prices on it potentially are moving. Do you think Evolving Skies will be reprinted? Yes. I mean, I've said this before. I'll say it many times. Evolving Skies is still in rotation for about another year and 3 to 6 months, and it's going to get reprinted, whether it be this holiday season or the next. Tyrone says, asking the important questions as always, thoughts on Steam Siege, top 5 best sets of all time. Only one I would put above that would probably be Emerging Powers. I mean, I'd say top 3. Top 3 seems about right. So I would say in order from best sets of all time, number 3, Crimson Invasion, number 2, Steam Siege, and then number 1, Emerging Powers. I know that sounds controversial because Steam Siege is just such a great set, but I gotta put Emerging slightly above it. I'm sorry. I know, hot take here. I'm gonna have people get upset with me about it, but please, I'm kidding, guys. For those of you guys new in the hobby, people go and look at Steam Siege and start buying the set. What's your favorite gold card? I do like Snorlax. Ooh, okay. Well, gold star card. I know that answer, but obviously you didn't say that. You said gold card. I really like the Cresselia. I think Shiny Cresselia from Evolving Skies is really cool. But if I would say gold card that I really like, well, if I'm able to cheat here, and I'm able to go back, I would say the gold Zekrom's my favorite. Gold Zekrom's definitely my favorite gold card, no question about it. And then runner-up is Reshiram. I mean, I'm a huge Reshiram fan. I think I like Reshiram as a card more than Zekrom, but the gold and yellow, just, it matches more. Reshiram, you know what would have been really sick? I think would have been smart is if they made him silver. Oh, if they made it like a white silver or a white gold, oh, that would be so sweet. I think that would be such a good combo on him. Vaporeon Alt box, Vaporeon Alt Art box, buy or sell. I mean, prices on it right now have started to drop a little bit. If you can get it for $60 or below, it's definitely a good buy. But obviously, if you can't get it for that price, then I'm staying away from it. Please don't send Eli a waifu trainer costume. Oh god. Oh god, I'm not trying to scare the children. I will be wearing that costume at the store opening, so, and there's gonna be a bunch of children around. Let's not scare off the parents. I think everything is up in the air for reprints up until after a 2-year period. Yeah, no, after it's within the 2-year period of the set release usually. How much case of Steam Siege booster box go for? God, probably like, I don't know, like $1,500 to $2,000 bucks. Blaziken, the worst start of all time in my opinion. Lame Fire Chick. That is some blasphemy over here there, Travis. It is my favorite of the 3 Gen 3 starters. Go ahead, keep promoting Steam Siege. I found a bunch of sleeve booster packs at the dollar store a couple weeks ago, just a lot still on a shelf. That's kind of funny. Thoughts on price for a PSA 10 Lost Origin to Aerodactyl in a few months? Let's take a look at the card right now and just see where it's trending as a 10. Do we have a 10 version of it yet? That's the question. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we did, but yeah, I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. I would say that you're going to have your initial release of people being like, you know, this card's worth $1,000. I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to say the 10's probably going to start off going for around the $400 price point. Yeah, you're going to probably see the 9 going for around $200, and then you're going to see the 10 going for around $400. That's what I would like to believe. But like I said before, that's what it eventually will stabilize to at one point, probably. Something about the Cell Gold Mew card pops up. Had to get it in English and Japanese. Yeah, it's not a bad card. I just like the original Gold Star Mew. The original Gold Star Mew is my favorite, but that's Gold Star, not Gold Card, obviously. I think we'll see Evolving Skies and products for a while, like we're seeing popular Cosmic Eclipse hanging around. I mean, obviously, John Doe, that's a little bit of a different situation because the Evolving Skies product is an ultra modern product that's around because I think a more fair comparison, John Doe, would be like Evolutions. Because Cosmic, the only reason why it's floating around is because there was a reprint that got canceled, and so they had a bunch of packs that they were just throwing in things. But in terms of Evolutions, though, that was an extremely overprinted set, and that obviously had been thrown in just literally anything and everything. So you'll probably see that with Evolving if they decide to go that route and overprint it again. But thoughts on Advent Calendar's investment? I mean, I bought one for open and I bought one for an investment right there. So you know, I don't know. Thought I'd hold on to one just cause. Why not? That's kind of what my thoughts were. But yeah. That's just where I stand on it. All right, we're down to the last minute. Let's get your last question in. I will answer a couple more. Or actually, I mean, we don't got any more questions. I just burned through everyone. So I think we might just end it here then. I think this might be a good place to end. But I want to thank everyone once again so much for stopping by. I really appreciate the love and support of the YouTube channel. Make sure you leave a like on the video. And as always, if you want to enter into our weekly giveaways, make sure you're subscribed, leave a like, and comment down below on any of the pre-recorded videos we post each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Can't thank you guys once again so much for everything. Wouldn't be able to be here without you all. So, but that is all for today's video. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I see how people are saying phone at 3%, so goodbye. Peace out.